Today, I'm gonna talk about a watch full of potentials. The Coros Vertix 2. Let's do this. Oh yeah, the Coros Vertix 2. I have received so many comments about this one. I actually tested it for, I would say, at least a month. I have it in my possession for a little bit more than 2 months, I think. And what do I think about it? The way it will work is that I now have my review guide in which I have a lot of points to which I will talk about. So sometimes there might be have some comparison. I may compare it with some other watch. As you can see, I have a Garmin Fenix 7 on my wrist. Well, this is actually my favorite watch, so sometimes I may be hard on the Coros watch because I will compare it with the Garmin Fenix watch. A lot of you asked me about comparison between those two, so maybe you're gonna enjoy it, maybe not, because I'm gonna be violent. So the video is chaptered. If you want to see some point specifically, you can jump straight to it. If I talk about something you don't want to hear, you can jump to it just right now. And before I start, I want to say it's a multi-sport watch, and the sport that I personally do is hiking, walking, cycling, running, sometime running. I'm not a real runner. I do trail running too, but my three favorite sports are hiking, walking, and cycling. And I didn't test it on cycling because it's actually winter. Oh, there's something I need to say before I start, and that is the fact that Coros do, and that's what I said at the very beginning, that it is a watch full of potential. Coros do a lot of updates. Since I have the watch, it's not the same watch anymore. Since its release, they have built in some new features inside the watch. We will come to this later. They have built a website. They have a team that works on update, on real update, not just bug fixing. No, they really come with new feature. So I actually record that video on Thursday 3, 2022. Actually, I will switch my watch to English because I've just recorded that tutorial in French. That's it, it's done. You can navigate quite quickly inside the watch for some things. So yes, we are actually on Thursday 3 of 2022, and yes, it might change since for the date you are. Maybe some things are no longer accurate if you're watching that video in a few months or a few years. So the first point is about the build quality. The build quality, seriously, it's incredible. You have titanium both sides, so in front and in the back. It does a great look about the it's a brushed metal. The side is in plastic, yes. The button seems to be also in titanium, or at least it's metal. It's definitely not plastic. It's a great looking watch. It does feel quality. You have the sapphire glass, so it's hardly not scratchable. If you want to scratch it, good luck. Seriously, it's really resistant, and even more, the glass is also a little bit inside the bezel. So really great job. I think the watch is beautiful. What they have done with the dial, just right here, dial or crown, call it as you wish. I think it looks beautiful. It looked really beautiful. And there was another point about that, and yeah, it's the unboxing experience. You see right there, that's all the watch I tested recently, and that's the box of the Coros Vertix 2. It's the biggest one, and I was wondering why, and it come with a huge case. I don't know what it is for, because it goes to your wrist. I don't know why they put it inside, but still, the unboxing experience is absolutely great. I think they removed that case finally. They dropped the price a little bit to remove it, because obviously that have not only a cost to build, but also for shipping and everything. So actually, I think they remove it, but still, the unboxing experience was mind-blowing. That was great. Now, let's talk about the wristband. The wristband seriously is amazing. I prefer nylon band, but for a silicone band, it's amazing. It's one of the best silicone band I have tested. You see, when you put it on your wrist, can you hear that? It's really satisfying. It's built with a lot of triangle inside it, and when you put it on your wrist, you feel that it locks in place, and it's seriously a great quality of band. And also it's very easy to change it. It's the same principle that you can see with Garmin. You can remove the wristband in seconds and change it for another color if you would like. Next point is about the size of the watch, and the size of the screen inside it. So it's about the size of the screen compared to the size of the watch, and I think they made a pretty good job. There's a beautiful bezel. It's not too small, it's not too big, and inside the bezel there's another smaller bezel under the sapphire crystal screen, under sapphire crystal glass, and it's not optimal actually for you to see, but you see that the screen occupy a great part of the watch. So yes, it's a big watch, but you also have a big screen. Sometimes you have a big watch but a small screen, which is kind of stupid. Actually, you got a big screen and a big watch, so that's wonderful if you like big watch. Now about the choice, if you want to customize your watch, there's not a lot of choice. This model comes only on this size, so you can add it smaller if you want a smaller watch. That's the only size of watch you have, and it's a big watch. It's a very big watch. It's the same size as a Garmin Fenix, the X model or the Tactics. It's the very same size. It's a big watch. So if you have a little wrist, maybe it's not for you. I don't think I have a big wrist, maybe not small, but maybe a medium wrist, I would say. And well, that's how it looked on my wrist. They are both the same size, and well, actually I like it. Is it for you? Only you know. Do you like big watch or not? It's heavy too. It's not a lightweight watch. It's a big heavy watch. So only you know if you will think it will be comfortable, but I think you get used to it. I really think you get used to it once you wear it for at least maybe a week. You get used to it. At least I did get used to it. And now about the color, you have the choice between this one, which is a dark gray, I would say. And there's also a lighter model. About the wristband, you have 6 choice of color. This one, the dark gray, come with that one, which I think is not that great looking. I don't like that color. The other one comes with the orange one, and you have some choice on the Coros website if you want to order one more for your watch. Yeah, that's the only choice you have to configure your own watch. Now let's talk about the GPS precision. You have 3 modes. You have the dual, the dual frequency mode, which can grab multiple satellites, so GPS, Galileo, and GLONASS, and so on. It can catch up to multiple GPS at the same time. That one is less energy efficiency, so it will drain your battery quicker. Actually, I use the normal mode, and there's also a cheaper mode, which gives you the most battery, but I use the middle one. I would say for most of my run that it was fine. When I was doing my walking at night, every time the same itinerary gives me the same distance, and when I was looking at the map, it was great. The distance was fine. Until recently, where I did do a run into a mountain. I did the tour of the mountain 3 times, and well, that was terrible. If you look at the GPS track on the map, it's terrible. Seriously, I passed 3 times at the exact same place. The track is really, really narrow, and well, it doesn't make sense. It's terrible. That was still on the normal mode. Maybe if I would have picked the dual frequency mode, it would have been better, but actually this was terrible. I don't know what happened. Actually, I was wearing the 7X on one wrist and this one on the other, and the Phoenix 7 just nailed it. I passed every time at the very, very, very same place. So I don't know what happened to it. But, well, it happened. So sometimes GPS is not so accurate. Maybe I was wearing it a little bit under my jacket, but the view to the sky was clear. There is actually there is actually no leaves into the trees because it's winter. Well, and seriously, I think it was most of the time out of the jacket because I was testing it and checking both watches, and it happened. So it's great most of the time, but sometimes it does that. Now let's talk about the heart rate precision. Ouch. That's terrible. Absolutely terrible. It did get better while I was using it because they made an update about this. At first, I was sitting on this very chair, working at my computer back there, and my heart was pumping, according to the watch, at 185 beats per minute. And I can actually tell you that at this very moment, I'm pumping at 69 beats per minute. So, and when I'm working there, it sometimes drops to 53. So 185, that's a nonsense. But that has been solved with an update, so actually it kind of does make sense all the time when I'm resting. But into inactivity, it's still just nonsense. Recently I was hiking, I was running while hiking, and I can tell you that my heart was at least at 170, and it was broadcasting 90. And later, I was going down of the mountain by walking, and now I was pumping at 170. The information the heart rate sensor gives is, well, don't look at it, seriously. It's there for nothing. I'm pretty sure that it is something that they can solve with updates because, well, they did it for the resting part, but into inactivity, well, that's still, it's not good. It's not good. What's next? Okay, the next point is about how independent the watch is to some other things. And it's not. Well, You can do some stuff on the watch. As you've seen at the beginning, I did change the language. You can change the metrics. You can change the orientation of the watch. You can have access to some stuff into the menu. There is some stuff that you can do. You can pair a Bluetooth device. It can do this all alone. No need of any application. But when it's come to modify any menu, so the widget menu, the toolbox menu, the data fields you will have inside a sport activity, you need your phone with the Coros application. There is nothing you can do straight from the watch. You always need the phone. So if you don't like using a phone, well, you will have to use it if you want to modify something inside your watch. There's just no choice. You have to do it with the watch. At least there is something that is very great, and it's that if we take the 4 big watch company, so Garmin, Coros, Polar, and Suunto, there's only 2 of them that you can modify the activity, the data fields you have inside an activity while you are doing the activity. And those 2 companies are Garmin and Coros. So if you are running, hiking, cycling, or whatever, and you tell yourself, well, I would like to have my average speed and I didn't think to put it on the watch, well, you can take your phone, modify the activity, change the data field, add a page if you want, and boom, it's on your watch, just right there. Otherwise, with Suunto and Polar, you would need to stop your activity, save it, modify it, sync it, restart the activity. So for this, kudos, really well done. Yeah, but still, you need your phone to do it. Okay, that one is mind-blowing. It's the only watch I have tested so far, and I tested some of them, that you can reverse. Maybe you have realized that my crown is on the left, and if you look at the image when you buy the watch, the crown is on the right. It's because I prefer it like that, and Coros give me the ability to do it. So you see, I just have to remove a wristband just like that, put it on the other side, attach the wristband, and of course you need to go inside the menu and say, well, the dial is on this side, and boom, it's rotated. So yes, actually it's on the right. I prefer it to have on the other side. I will explain why. It's because of the dial. So yep, like that. Okay, so let's say that you see when it's on that side and I move my hand just like that, well, I hit the button, I hit the dial, and what it does, actually yesterday, just like that, because I was wearing it just like that on my right hand, I accidentally start an activity twice in the same day, even if there's a lock that you need to press and hold the crown to unlock the watch. So I press and hold the watch accidentally, I then press it again, and then I press it again, and then I press it again, and then I press it again, and it starts the activity. All that accidentally, because, well, the crown is big. The crown is really big. So yeah, you will push it accidentally many times. Many times. So I wear it on the other side like that. So this way I doesn't touch it. And also when it's on the left, I prefer to use my thumb instead of my index to control the watch. I think it goes better with the thumbs. Personal opinion. But I'm really glad they did, because they give you the option to put the watch on the side you want. Seriously, that's unbelievable. That's great. And the watch looks great on both sides because they didn't put numbers anywhere. The Coros logo look well the same on both sides, and they just put that little icon on top and the bottom. And seriously, the watch is just looking the same on both sides, and it just makes sense to use it on both sides. So, well, that's awesome. Okay, now about the quantity of sport available inside the watch. I think it's not that much for a multi-sport watch. Actually, I'm going to tell you every sport there is available. There is run, hike, walk, bike, multi-sport, indoor run, trail run, track run, multi-pitch, mountain climbing, indoor bike, pool swim, open water, windsurfing, rowing, indoor rower, flat water, triathlon, strength, gym cardio, GPS cardio, ski, snowboard, XC ski, ski touring, workout, training, well, okay, we've done the tour. Oh, and there is white water and speed surfing. So yeah, still, there is some sport. I think there could be even more available. But you can still use the sport other, but when you will look on your calendar, you will see other instead of the sport you really made. It's not that bad. There's a lot of sport, but I think that they could put even more. But well, actually, when I buy the watch, the walk mode was not available, and now it is. So there will probably have more sport mode in the future. There's another downside about the sport mode, and it's about the data field available between each of them. In some sport mode, there is data fields that are not available that I would like to have. So, for example, when I do a walk, if I go into walk and I start it, actually, you see I can have my pace, but not my speed. It's just not possible to have, sorry, I have my, no, that's right. No, I have my pace, I have my average pace, but I'm not able to have my average speed. And I would like to have my average speed because I don't want to know how much time it takes me to do 1 kilometer. I want to know how much kilometers I do per hour. That's what I want to know. And it's just not available into walking. Why? I would understand if they would not give me the ability to know how much step I done in cycling. Okay, that's fine. But why I'm not able to have average speed in walking and I'm able to have it inside running? Inside running, I can choose to have my average pace or my average speed. But in walking, just average pace. Why? Give me the ability to just configure it the way that I want. Don't limit me to have only some data fields for an activity because you think I will not want to use it. Give me the ability to do it, please. Next point. The multi-sport mode. Not the best, but at least there is one. So if you want to do multi-sport, so if you want to start by running and then walking and then biking and finally swimming and then biking again, you can do it. But you have to predict what you will do. So, I don't know, maybe for example, you are doing a race that you don't know what you will do and you want to switch sport mode. You will have to end the activity and then start a new one. If you start walking and then you want to start running but do it into a multi-sport activity, you have to start a multi-sport activity and know exactly what you will do. So you will have to say to the watch, well, I will walk, then I will ride, then I will run. Otherwise, well, you have to stop the activity and start a new one. I would not like to have the ability to just switch to the sport I want when I want, in the order I want on the go, not having to predict it. Next one. Oh, the watch face. the watch face. How can you personalize it? Not that much. Actually, when you unbox the watch, there is 5 watch face available. You can navigate through it and you choose the one that you want. There's not only 5, you can go on the app. There is about 20 to 30. And then if you want one from the app, you have to delete one from the watch to exchange it for the one you choose. And then you can swap it inside the watch. That's fine. The quantity of 30 watch faces is kind of great. The thing I don't like is the way you can adapt it to what you want. I mean, actually, I've got the time. It says Thursday 3, and I have the battery percentage. Those information, I can't change it. And on top here, actually, it says the sunrise time. And if I press the lower button, now it tells me the sunset time. If I press it again, it tells me my altitude, then heart rate, number of steps in the day, number of floors climbed in the day, calories burns, and a number of activity minutes in the day. And well, that's it. It turns in circle. But if I want to change that information, if I think that, well, I don't know, I don't want to see my battery percentage here, I want to know my well, the sunset time. You can't change it. It's just made like that, and you cannot change the information. And even more stupid, if you look at this right here, you see that little if it can focus, actually you can see that if I move it just like that, there is a second just right here, and there's a little hole down there, and it's made to broadcast AM, PM. But actually I'm using the watch in 24-hour mode, so now it's just a blank space. Maybe I would be able to, that would be great if I would be able to set the battery percentage into that empty space instead of just having nothing, and then have the sunset time at the bottom. But well, you can't. You have to use the watch face the way they think you will want to use it. That's how it's made. Now let's talk about the widget. The widget, you have some of them when you navigate into here. I have one that tells me that the sun will set in 1 hour and 56 minutes at 17 o'clock. I've done 544 steps today. That's my sleep graph. I slept for 7 hours and 48 minutes, and if I click on it, I can see how much time I was awake, how much time I did light sleep and deep sleep, and I can come back. I can know the calories I have burned. There is the thermometer that worth what it's worth. I mean, the thermometer on the watch doesn't ever give you anything great, because it's a mix of the ambient temperature and your body temperature, so meh. And yeah, you have some more information here. I got my running performance, but I actually never get anything on it because I didn't run enough with it. I did run few times with it yet, but I think you have to run few days in a row to got something there, and I never run few days in a row. At least, well, not at least few days in a row. Probably you need to run 7-10 days in a row to got something, and I just never do that because I get bored at running. Yeah, and you also have well, you see the widget does look, actually you see it's dark, but with your eyes you will see it very well. The screen does a great job, but you see that's the widget, and you also have a toolbox that looks like this, in which you will find some things like a stopwatch, timer, alarm. You can modify your watch face from here. You can find the map, the navigation tools, the metronome that will just beep. Oops. And then, well, you got few stuff inside there. You got the broadcast HR option if you want to share your broadcast with another device, if you're using a tax or a virtual runner or something like that. But actually, That would be a great feature if the heart rate was working fine. You got a compass, you got few option here. Do not disturb. There's the night mode, that when you use the night mode, it does turn on a very dim light that remain on all the time. But we will come back to a backlight later. Next point. Okay, the music. The music. I don't know if it's even worth to talk about it, because as I said, it's full of potential. You can connect your Bluetooth headphone and listen to music, but actually I never did it, because the only way you can listen to music on this device is by connecting it to your computer and transfers MP3 into it. I don't know who still use MP3s today. Surely there is still people doing it, but I have my music library on YouTube Music. I could have it also on Spotify or those kind of music services, and it's synced with my phone, and it just goes so well. It's synced with my Sonos speakers at home. It's synced between all of my device. I have my playlist, and now I would have to take my old MP3 musics that I listened probably 10 or 15 years ago. I just don't see the point. And the transfer speed of the USB, we'll come back to that later, but it's so slow, so slow. And you have 32 gigabytes of memory inside it. A part of it is used for the watch, another part of it is used for the maps, so you don't have a lot of place to put some music. So will you really connect your watch to your computer to transfer music, to have few music available that you will listen again, then you will get bored to it, and then you will have to connect your watch to your computer with a very slow connection to delete those songs and send the other one. And when I say it's slow, it will probably take hours to send just few music inside the watch. So seriously, I don't think we shouldn't talk about the music on that watch. I think it's just not worth it. Oh, the next one is very positive. It's the battery, and it's the best battery you can get on any watch. That's it. Actually, for real, so there's estimation. The estimation is if you use it as a smartwatch, it should last you for 41 days. That means you don't use the GPS. And if you use a GPS, you have 3 modes, as I said earlier. There is the dual band mode that will last for 50 hours in GPS mode. 50 hours straight, that's huge. And that's the mode that will consume the most battery. The normal mode that will pick the best satellite of any kind will last you for 90 hours. And if you use only a GPS, it will give you 140 hours. That's huge, but huge. Yeah, that's huge. And what it gives me in real life, and I have to say that I did change my heart rate sensor to, because by default it only get your heart rate every 10 minutes. The way I use it, it was taking my heart rate 24 hours a day. So that way, when I was looking at the watch, I was knowing what was my heart beat pace. Just like that, no need to wait every 10 minutes. I just like to have that information when I want to look at it. And so yes, so that drains a bit more battery. But like that, what did I get? I get 20 days of smartwatch mode and 25 hours of GPS. 25 hours of GPS in 20 days in a single charge. That's hard to beat. Actually, there is that Garmin Fenix 7 that might get close to it, but it's a hard one to beat. That's seriously good. I don't even think it will beat it. At least on paper, that's the Coros is better, and I think it will still be better about the battery. The battery is just insane. I didn't know that at 5%, the watch will stop to sync with your phone. It will ask you to connect it to get synced, and at 2%, well, it doesn't do anything. It show you the time. If you are already into inactivity, probably it will keep going. But at 2%, well, you cannot start inactivity. There is one thing about the battery that they could do better, and it's to broadcast you an average of time it remains you. So actually, it remains 69% of battery. I would like that they told me, well, you have X days of battery left into that mode, and when I start an activity, I would like to see how much time of GPS left that I have. Actually, it's not this important because the battery is so huge, because if you have 10% of battery, let's say that at 100% you have 90 hours of battery, so at 10% of battery you have 9 hours of battery. So even at 10% you can do a huge activity. Maybe not full day, but almost full day. 9 hours at 10%. So yeah, the battery is huge. So if it remains 20 hours, 20%, you know that, well, you can do a lot. You can do a lot. On average, it was taking me 5% a day, and using the GPS every single day. There is no solar charging. It's just not available. But anyway, even with solar charging, most of the watch with solar charging doesn't get to that charge. So that's great. Next, it's about the temperature. I didn't test it to the extreme level, but about the specs, you can see on the website, it will go from -30 Celsius to +50 Celsius. If you are a Fahrenheit guy, Google it. But yes, maybe I tested at -20 and was working well. But I didn't really test it in deep cold. Okay, now let's talk about how easy the screen is to see. If you are inside into a dark environment, of course you will need the backlight. If you are outside, it's always very easy to read. It's just well made. The screen is beautiful. The color are great, and yeah. When it do get worse, it's about the backlighting. I say worst because the backlighting is so well done, but there's something that just destroys it. Okay, when you do press a button, no. How can I phrase it? Okay, the backlight feature can be turned on, or can be on all day, off all day, or on between 1 hour before sunset and 1 hour after sunset. And it's a total on and off. So it doesn't matter if you are into an activity, not into an activity, sleeping, inside, outside, just whatever. It's just on and off. So if it's on, when you press a button, any button, the light turns on. That's great. That's great. When you take a look at your watch, just like that, the light turns on. That's great. But actually, I would like to just have it inside an activity, not just all day. Because when I'm at my desk and just moving, the light was turning on all the time because the sun was set, but I'm inside and I don't really care. But whatever, that's not too bad. But when you are into an activity, you are running and you want to look at your stats, you just do that, the light turns on, and when you stop watching it, it does turn off. That's mind-blowing. But the thing is, I don't use it because I would have to disable it every night and re-enable it every morning. because when you are sleeping, if your hand end up into that position, the light turns on. So when you're moving into your bed, you have a big hollow light on your wrist, and if your wrist is close to your face, well, it's wake you up. Seriously, it's terrible. It's terrible. I can't believe you cannot just do more, or well, it's a wonderful feature, but it's a terrible execution. Yeah. Next, notification. That's the same problem. You can turn it on or turn it off. You're not able to put it on schedule, so you have to think to put it on do not disturb mode when you go to sleep, and you re-enable it the next morning. So end up to just being always on do not disturb, because probably I will just forget it when I will go to sleep, and it will wake me up at night. And I also even already get a storm alarm at night. So yeah, I was sleeping in my bed and I received a storm alert while sleeping. So I did wake up because, well, it was about to snow. And the same watch is monitoring my sleep. So it does know that I was sleeping. But still, it did think that it was a good idea to tell me, well, there's a storm incoming. Or you got a new email about whatever. Still, you can receive notification about your text message, messenger messages, and all of those things. It does show up. You cannot reply, but it does show up. You know who is sending you a message, and you see the content of the message. You can scroll to see even more. That's pretty well done, but it's always on do not disturb mode because it's not possible to schedule the do not disturb at night. Okay, how efficient the watch is by using its button. Okay, I have to say I'm a huge fan of the 5-button of the Garmin Fenix. I think it's the best way to control a watch. But I think they get something really great with that crown. Because with the same button you can scroll up, scroll down, and when you push it you do select it, and when you press the button just under it you go back. It goes pretty well. I think sometimes you have to do a lot of scrolling to navigate. I would have liked if the dial was more sensible, or give me the ability to be more sensible. You see, I have to do like this movement for every step I want to go down, or I can do it just like that because actually it's not on my wrist, but when it's on your wrist you have to do that. And if it would have been button, you would just have to, it's faster with button. And the other things about button like that is that if you have big gloves, it still go well to use the buttons. The crown with gloves, it's just not working. It's not working, seriously, it's not working. But still, I think that is way better than a touchscreen. It still have a touchscreen. You can use it actually only on the map, and if you go enable it, you can also scroll with it. But by default, it's just usable on the map. But yeah, I think it's great, but 5-button works better for me. And about the navigation, sometime I think that you have to do a lot of travel inside the watch to get to something, but it's not so bad. It's not so bad. There's another great thing, and it's that this button, which is actually when you press it, it does turn on the backlight, but when you hold it, you can have a shortcut. So you have few options about shortcut, and actually when I press and hold it, I got the map. So that's great. I like the fact that they give you the ability to have at least one shortcut. Okay, let's talk about trust. How do I trust that device? It depends. It depends on what. If we talk about the GPS, I trust it. I trust it. I only have that one example that was terrible. The other time that was kind of great. That was kind of great. But that time that was terrible. About the heart rate, seriously, I still think that, well, they just, if what they give actually is what I get, it's so wrong that they should just not put it back there. I hope they will fix it, but actually I trust that the heart rate sensor is not accurate. That's what I trust. That's what I trust about it. And there's one thing that always worries me, is that I accidentally pause the activity without realizing it, because the crown is so big that you can just touch it. If it's on that side, it might be your hand, and if it's on that side and it's winter, it might be your jacket. Your jacket or your hand can pause the activity. That, I don't like it. But if we just talk about the quality of the product and the ability to not crash, that I don't worry about that. So my trust level is okay, but it's not super great. Okay, now let's talk about water rating, and that's really good. You can see on the back here it says 10 ATM. And what does 1080 ATM means? It means that you can dive up to 100 meter deep into water. Well, that's a lot. And you can do pretty much anything into water. So you can take your shower, you can go swimming, you can do jumping, you can do surfing, you can do jet ski, you can do whatever you want on water. It is built to resist very high impact of water. So you don't really have to care about water unless you dive under 100 meter. There, you should not go. Okay, now let's talk about the mapping. I'll be severe, because I'm pretty sure someone at Coros will watch this and take notes. But still you have to consider that between the 4 big brands of watch, Garmin, Coros, Polar, and Sunto, only 2 does have a map. Garmin does have the best, and Coros does have map. The others, they just don't. So it's a big step forward in front of the competition. But it's very limited as a map. Built in, you have the world map, so you will see the streets, the lakes, the trails. That's what you will see. But that's pretty much it. If you go on the Coros website, you can download the topography map of any region of the world. It's free. You connect it with the USB cable in the back, and you send it to the watch with a very slow connection. And that's it. You got it. But it doesn't give you much, because basically it's like a JPEG map. That means that you see the streets, but you don't see the name of the streets. So the details on the map is very low. You don't know where is the restaurant, you don't know where is the restroom, you don't know where is the hotel, the hospital, those kind of thing. Where is gas, where is anything. There's nothing on the map. You just see the street, the lakes, and the trails. And if you zoom out, it is you quickly lose the details. So you can zoom out very far on the map, but you don't have details. You just see the continent. The continent is gray and the water is blue. The ocean is blue, not the lakes. You don't see it when you scroll it, when you zoom out just a little bit. You have to be real close and not seeing much around to see the map. But at least if you are running somewhere and you want to take that street, you can quickly see if it goes somewhere or if it's a dead end. you have that. But well, that's it. And that brings us to the next point, which is navigation. Well, you cannot use the map to navigate. The map is not routable. So if you point somewhere on the map, you cannot create an itinerary to that point. You just cannot. It's just a map. It's like if you have a paper map. You see it. You can look, okay, I will pass there, 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 and there, and I will end up at the right place. You can do that. But it's not routable. So you cannot say, I want to go there, create me the itinerary. That you can't. And even more stupid, often at night I will go do my walking activity. I do walk about 8 kilometers when I do my walking, and I do a loop. So I was doing my loop. I was at 7.7 kilometers, so 300 meters far from home. I was just needing to go up the street and turn right, and I was at my home. But when I tell the watch, take me back home, the only option I had was to track back on 7.7 kilometer. So it would have helped me to track back on my own feet to go back home. But I was just 300 meters far from my home, but on the other side. I could see on the map that I can take that street and turn right and arrive at my home, but you know, the watch have not the ability to make me that route. It just can't. So same thing about Garmin have a very great feature that is loop itinerary. So if you are somewhere you don't know, you want to ride 10 kilometers or do you want to run 10 kilometers or do a ride of 100 kilometers on your bike, and ask the watch, well, create me a loop itinerary of X distance, it will create you a route itinerary. It's just not possible with the Coros because the map is not routable. But at least they have a map. Now about itinerary creation, that's another thing that is that could be better. You don't have anything inside Coros to create your own itinerary. The way it works is that you will have to sync your Coros app with Strava or Komoot to create your itinerary. It goes very well to create an itinerary on Strava and on Komoot too. That's fine. They just pick great tool to create it to make it available on the watch. But let's say you make it on Komoot because it's totally free. You create your itinerary, that goes very well, and then you sync it with your Coros app. And actually it does sync every few hours or maybe 1 or 2 times a day. So you have to wait for it to sync. Otherwise, you could also download the GPX file from Komoot and manually import it inside the Coros app. You see where it's going? And when you sync it with your Coros app, it ends up on your library, not in your watch, into your library. And then you need to go into your library and sync that activity between all the others to your watch. It's a long process. So if I restart that, you do the activity, you do the itinerary on Komoot, you wait a few hours for it to sync to your Coros app, and then you go into your route, into the application, you'll go into library, you select the route, and you transfer it to the watch, and you can have up to 10 activity. So if you already have 10 activity, before you do that, you will need to delete one of those that are already in the watch. So it's a kind of long process if you want to create an itinerary. It does work, but it does take a lot of time. Storing. If you don't want to use the watch for a few times because you're testing another watch, or well, you just don't feel like doing sport, you can turn off the watch. I can't believe I'm talking about this, but I do talk about that because Polar and Suunto cannot do that. They will just run empty. You can turn off your Coros watch. That's great. You just go into the menu, you scroll down, and you say power off, and it's off. And when you want to use it back a few months later, well, you turn it on and the battery is not empty. Isn't that great? About language, what language are available inside the watch? Let's go into settings, and then more settings, language. You got English. I do think that is Chinese. And then you've got Dutch, Spanish, French, Polski. That is Japanese. That I don't know what this is. I don't even know those signs. Portuguese, Italian, Korean, and I think that's Russian, but I'm not sure. That's what you have as language. One thing that I would have liked to see is the ability to put an activity on pause and resume later. So you exit the activity, you come back to your normal watch, and when you want to start again, you restart the activity. Actually, this you can't. You just can't. Now let's talk about the alarm. If you want to be wake up in the morning with your watch, that's a really good tools to be wake up. You got it on your wrist. You can set it at the time you want, at the very minute you want. There's a snooze. You can set it up for just once if you wanted to have it tomorrow, or you can set it to have it, well, if you want on Monday and Wednesday, or Monday and Thursday and Saturday. It's really up to you. You choose the day you want, and it will ring up at that time every day, every week. That's really up to you. It will do a and then you have the ability to set it off or snooze. There's one thing that I think they could have done better, and it's to disable the beep and just put the vibration. So if you're sleeping with someone, or if you are in a dorm, it can just ring on your wrist. You don't wake up everybody, and you do go out of the room, and you don't do so much noise. I think it would have been great if they just have put vibration, or at least just the option to have vibration only. Sleep tracking, it does work well. Well, it did catch almost all the time the perfect time where I go to sleep and when I do wake up, even if I'm not moving a lot in the morning. The first thing I do in the morning when I wake up is I answer your YouTube comment. And so leave some if you want. I read them every morning, and most of the time I do answer. So I read them all. So that's what I do in the morning. So when I wake up in the morning, I sit on my couch, take my laptop and answer comments, so I'm not moving a lot, and it does catch up when I do wake up. So very good job about the sleep tracking. Well, very good job if you disable the backlight and the do not disturb mode. Okay, the next point is about how the watch motivates you to move, and not much. Well, it does give you a graphic of your activity number of steps, heartbeat, and activity minutes and those things, but it doesn't push you to do even more. You don't have challenge to do that many steps today. You don't have an inactivity stamp if you don't move. That's something I like about Polar. If you don't move every hour, you're gonna get an inactivity stamp. You need to move every hour, or you got that inactivity stamp. So you don't have nothing. You don't have challenge to do this amount of kilometers or this amount of climbing for this month, or those kind of things. You just don't have them. So if you're looking to motivate you to do something, well, you can do it with Strava. You sync your watch with Strava, and in Strava you have a lot of challenge. So that's a way to do it, but you don't have it built in with the Coros app. Now, the thing that missed me the most on that watch is the weather. I know it's stupid. You got the weather on your phone, you got the weather on your thermostat, you got the weather on your computer, you got the weather everywhere. But since I have it on my Phoenix, especially in winter, every time I go out at night, I do look at the weather. I just have to do this. It's -6 outside right now. It's just right there. It's great. Because in winter here, some days it's actually, you see, it's -6, but yesterday it was +6, and before yesterday it was -27. and before that it was -28, and before that it was maybe +5. It does change a lot every day, so I want to know what I will wear when I will go out, and I just have to do this, and it's great. That's just not available in Coros. No weather. The next point is about how is it resistance to disuse. Well, it's very dependent. Well, if we talk about the quality of the build of the watch, I don't really worry about that. I'm sure the watch will work for a very long time. Where I will be worried about it is it's all depend of the health of Coros. If they go bankrupt and the application is no longer available, well, you kind of have an empty shell because you won't be able to sync it with the app. You won't be able to modify your data fields. You won't be able to modify your menu. You end up with an empty shell if Coros go bankrupt. At least if you still have the app, it seems that you can sync your activities straight with, you can modify your data fields without synchronizing with the server, so it's just between two devices, but still. You have to worry about the health of Coros. I don't think it's a problem right now, but maybe one day, we don't know. Altimeter Barometer, you got it inside, you got the barometer, that works very fine. If you do a mountain, you got a pretty accurate elevation. However, you have to know that you have to calibrate it sometimes. Some watch, you don't have to do that this often. You still need to do it, but not that often. If you let it sit on the desk with the barometric pressure that change into the day, it gets decalibrated. Garmin handle it a bit better. You have to calibrate it less often. That's what I mean. But still, does a pretty great job. The price. Let's talk about the price. I will not say the price because it will vary over time, and also it will depend of your currency. So you can go check my links. It will take you to Coros watch inside your country and you will see the price. By the way, if you buy the watch by those links, thank you. I do make a commission out of it, and it helps me to buy some other watch so I can do other reviews. So thank you if you are using it. But the price, yes, it's expensive. I don't think it's overpriced because you got a pretty beautiful quality watch, but for the same price or about the same price, you can get a Phoenix. So I think you can have more for your money with Phoenix. So just know it. I think it's a solid watch, but not overpriced, but you can have better for the same amount of money. Next one. Oh, that one is excellent. Client service. I did email them a lot of time about many things, and they always answer kind of fast. Most of the time in about 1 to 3 hours, sometimes 5. But there's only one time they didn't not answer me the same days, and I realized that it was Thanksgiving. So that's okay. I think it's a Californian company. Take your Thanksgiving off. Perfect. No problem with that. But yeah, the other times they were answering me really quick, and it was no bullshit. That was great communication. Sometimes I was not happy with the answer, but at least it was honest. Sometimes they give me a great answer. Some other time, let's talk about like the backlighting I was talking earlier, or the do not disturb schedule that is not available. Well, they answer me, yes, you're right. That's not perfect yet. We don't have a solution right now, but we are working on something. And well, those are still not fixed. But one of my first point was, hey, you don't have a walk mode. Why don't you have a walk mode inside a multi-sport watch? Come on. And they tell me, well, for the moment, you can use other that will do the job. Yes, that's right. It does the job. It doesn't satisfy me as a customer, but it does the job. That's right. So they have a little solution. And 1 week later, I had an update with the walk mode inside my watch. So yes, they do, I think they do listen to their client and make updates about what they want. So, so yes, when they tell me it's not great, but we will work on this, I believe they really work on it. And they answer really fast. So seriously, it's great. Great client service. Now the antenna, you got 2 antennae inside it. You got Bluetooth to synchronize your phone, to synchronize the activity with your phone, and you got Wi-Fi, and I think it's only for the update. You can do it over Bluetooth too, but you can also do it over Wi-Fi. Oh, the USB cable, just right there. It's a lovely cable because, well, it's small. Doesn't take place. You don't have a huge connector at the end. It's just a little great small connector, and well, you take it, you connect it. It's very solid. It will not drop. It's solid. It's a great connector, but it's slow. It's so slow. I don't know. A USB connection is usually 4-pin. And actually there's only 3, unless maybe they use the shield as a pin. I don't know, but I don't know. But it's so slow, so slow. When I did send my my topography maps inside the watch, seriously, it was not a big file, and it took hours to transfer. It was so slow. It's unbelievable how slow it is. It is the slowest USB connection you will have ever used. Now, about the Bluetooth connection, when you want to sync your activity, that is very quick. You end up your activity, you hit finish, it does save. A few seconds later, it's in your app. You don't even need to turn on your phone and turn on the app and do a manual sync. No, it's you just go, you just finish the activity and it's synced to your phone. And if you are synced to Strava, Komoot, or any other third-party apps, a few seconds later, it's on it. So in less than a minute, when I finish my activity, it's already on Strava. I like it. There's no live track available on Garmin. When you do when you do move, you can share your position in real time to other people if that's something that interests you. It's not available on the Coros Vertix 2. Now, let's talk about the app. The app is kind of great. It's not mind-blowing, but it's kind of great. You have your activity of the day. You got all those kind of things. You can scroll back to yesterday to see all of those things. You got beautiful graph. I think that there's one thing that is kind of weird, is that every time you want to see a graph, so if I want to see my heart rate for today, it does flip on the side. I cannot see it into that direction. I would have liked that it was keep being into that direction, and if I turn the phone, it gives me that. But no, every time you enter into it, you have to. You know, well, that's a little something. And they also developed the web interface recently. Well, it's not great yet, but at least you can see your run, your ride, or whatever on the big screen on your computer, and it's pretty new. They released it 1 month ago about, so it will keep getting better and better over time. So, final thought. By the way, if you want to see my tutorial about the watch, and if you want to take a closer look at how to use it, you can see my playlist just right here. I got a full how to use it 101. It's like my own manual for you. But final thought. I think it's a solid watch. I mean, for the look, for the build quality, you don't feel any lag. The watch works very well. The processor is strong enough. they do update it. They do update it. I like the way they update the watch. But it's not a watch that I actually recommend to you to buy because, well, if it was cheaper, I could recommend it, but because there is a strong competition, and for the same amount of money you can have better, I cannot recommend it. I think Coros will be a leader in the competition. Maybe not the best. I personally think that Garmin have a lot of experience in the domain, and you can feel it while using a Garmin watch. You can feel that Coros is a fairly new company. They don't have a lot of experience, but at least what I like about them is that they work. I can see that they work to make something great. So I think Coros will be something really awesome in some years, maybe 5 years, 10 years, I don't know. I think they work very fast, so I think it will be way before 10 years. But for the moment, I think you should get, if you're the kind of client for a Vertix 2, the Garmin equivalent will be the Phoenix or the Tactics. Tactics will be more expensive, but if you go with the Phoenix, you are in the same price range. At least if you pick the Sapphire model, it will be a bit more expensive, not that much, but a bit more expensive. And yeah, I think it's a solid watch that need few updates to be really wonderful. But yeah, it's still kind of a great watch. If you like the crown, maybe it's for you, but it's not the watch that I will personally recommend, just because you can feel that it's a new company that need to learn some stuff, to put time into the programming of their watch. I think it will be better in few years. So yeah, that was my review about the Coros Vertix 2.
So this is it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy. And if you need help to find this product online, please see my links in the description. And finally, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to my channel so you can find me back easily next time you're looking for a great review video. See ya!